object constructor, right? So the object constructor, we create this simple object. This one, yeah, this one. I have all the code in the bottom. So did you practice, bro? Could you hear me? Oh, okay. We're going to take care of the built-in constructor. Okay, so the built-in constructor is we can able to create a primitive value in a object also. Okay, so that is a simple thing. I already told you, if you put new in front of any of one of the function, it's going to be an object. Okay, remember that. If you see any new in front of any character, any letters, it should be an object only. Okay, so the first step, what we have the primitive types. So we have a string in primitive, right? So here I'm going to create a const num1, sorry, a name1. Name1 is equal to, I'm just giving Javed. Okay, so what it's going to return a value in the console?
Javed.
So it's going to return a Javed, right? So we'll check that. Okay, it's starting. Okay, so if I open the inspect here, I can get the Javed. I think name1. Yeah, name1. Okay. So if I put Javed, okay, so it's returning Javed. Okay, everything is okay. But now I'm going to make it as I'm going to create a string in an object way. Okay, for example, name2 is equal to new string. This one is Jagan. So if I console.log the name2, if I console the name2, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get an object. You see what syntax is this? If you see the curly brace, it's a object, right? So basically
Yes,
it's a
sir.
constructor. Okay, yesterday what we saw, we actually, the person is an object. Uh, it's going to show the person character here and also the actual object. Now the string is object. Okay, so but we are not going to use this anywhere in our application. Why? Because if you want to create string, this is the proper way. Okay, if you try to create like this, there is unwanted things or unwanted character are adding into your memory, right? So it's going to slow down your application when you try to create a string using like this way of object. Okay, for example, what I'm going to do here, so we'll check. Okay, so I'm going to console.log type of name1. What I'm going to get, the type of name is string. Okay, it is a string. Okay, but if I check the type of name2, what it's going to return? It's going to
Object,
return
sir.
an object. Okay, so it is not a string, it is an object. Okay, remember that. So that's what. Okay, so if you try to put if statement also, if name2, okay, now like what we do here, we can, okay, we'll leave it this. Okay, no problem. So this is an object. Okay, so then we have a number type. So number, so const num1 is equal to 5. So if I console log this, I'm going to get 5, right? So if I console log num1, I'm going to get what? The number. Okay, if I check the type of number one, is also going to return a number. Okay, but if I make this using a new number with the operator of new number, it's going to return me back object. Okay, you see, I want to console log here also, this one also. So basically it is also going to return to as an object because we are using the new keyword in front of this function constructor. Okay, this is basically function constructor. That's what we are using new in front of that. Okay, in JavaScript, function is an object. That's what we are saying. This is an object. So then we have a Boolean. So boolean, so const bool 1 is equal to true, then const bool 2 is equal to new boolean. We put, I'll just pass a false here. Okay, so if I try to console log bool 1 bool 2 here, first I will get, we'll just take this one. First I will get true, afterwards I'm getting an object of boolean. Okay, so you can also use like this kind of syntax, but this is not recommended. Okay, it is also going to work the same way like this, but it is not recommended to do that. If you're creating some number or boolean, this is the proper way, this is the recommended way to do. Okay, so remember that. Then we have a function. So you already know how to create a function in JavaScript. So the function, for example, I'll create a function expression here, get sum. Okay, get sum 1 equal to function takes a x and y. So it's going to return x plus y. Okay, it's going to return x plus y. For example, if you want to call this, I want to put in a console.log get sum. I can pass 5, then 5. What I'm going to get? Hello. Hello, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically you see we are creating one function. This function takes a two parameter. One is x and another one is y. Okay, return x plus y. So we pass 5, 5. So here we have 5,
10, sir.
5. So it's going to return what? 10, right? So if I come back and if I take a look here, it's returning 10. Okay, this is what we need. Okay, everything is perfect. So now what I do, I'll just take this out. So not taking, so I'll just cut that and put here. Also I'll cut, copy this and paste here. This one is num1, num2. Okay, good. So now this is a get sum 5, 5. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new function like a object. Okay, kind of new keyword, new operator. So to do that, what I want to do, so I'm just going to make it as a const get. This syntax should be like this syntax look like weird, but we are not going to use anywhere. So I'm just want to know that there is another option also like that. So that's what I'm taking this. Okay, this takes a two parameter x y. After that it should return, we should want to give inside a string, return 1 plus 1. So if I do like this, so it's going to return me back 2, right? Because we are adding 1, 1. So basically it's return 2. Okay, we are not going to use that, but I'm just showing you there is another way also to, we can also create like this way also. Okay, that's what I'm saying this. So you see, now I want to call this function. So this one, I think this one we can call it as 2. Here I'm going to call it x and y. Okay, sorry, x and y. Here I'll do the same thing. Instead of 5, I'll just pass 6 here. So what I'm going to get, I'm just getting 11, but this is coming from this get to function. Okay, the 10 is coming from
Sir,
here.
but function like that and all not good, sir.
We are not going to create like this anywhere in our application. Okay, we're going to
Okay.
follow this or function statement.
No,
But
sir. After new, it will be coming as same what we type here.
the type of the function.
No, sir.
Uh,
When we use new boolean false, the when we console.log, the boolean false it will come in.
yeah,
But
this is
in
going to
function
commit in
way
an
it is not
object,
coming.
right? Because it's
Okay, sir.
structuring as an object. This function is returning something. You see,
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, this function is return. If you do like this way, like for example, if you do like this way, we cannot able to pass like that way. Okay, so
Okay,
this is
sir.
the proper way. So x plus y. Okay, this function is returning as a number only, right? Because that's, we are passing the number here. Okay, so that's the reason.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so I'll just leave. So if you want to do like that, so I'll just pass only one. Okay, for example, here I'll just pass only one x. Okay, if the x is an object, I can pass here an object. So name Javed like this. It's going to return me as in back of object. You see, I'm basically returning a string or number or object, whatever we can return from the function. Okay. Now this X is now in the X, we are passing an object. That's the different. Okay. So I'll just take this out too and make us this way. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create an everything is okay. Then the third one is object. We know object literals how to create. Okay. So I'll just make a const jar with 1 is equal to here the name. I'll put jar with here. Okay. So we'll keep like this person 1. This one is for the person 2. This is now I'm going to use a inbuilt constructor. Okay. So the constructor is what? I'm just want to use a new object. Here I'm going to inside, I want to push this actual object key and value, the name and value. Okay. So the name for this Jagan. So if I console log this, both console.log person 1, then person 2. I'll command this out. If I console log this person 1, person 2, it's going to return the same. Okay. This is also another option to create an object, but we are not going to use this. We are going to only stick with the object literals only. Okay. So if I come back here, C is not defined. Where is the C is coming? Built-in constructor city C60. Okay, I'll take this one. So if I do that, I'm going to get what? Both are object. Okay. So remember that. So basically this is an object. So that's what it's returning an actual object. Okay. Then we going to take care of array. So already I show you that there is a two-way of creating array. So array 1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all the same thing I'll just give here. Instead of like doing like this, new array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just change to new array. Okay. If I come to bottom console.log array 1 and array 2. If I do that, what I'm going to get and get the same value. Okay. If you remember, I'll get into the fundamentals in the array. I told you that we can able to create a two-way of array, right? The both are same actually, but there is another option also, like we can create like this. But we are not going to use that. We're going to stick with the array literals only. Okay, remember that. That's what I put the three dot here. That means it is very important. We're going to follow this only.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So then we have a regular expression. I didn't teach you yet what is regular expression, but we're going to look later. Okay. So this is regular expression. So regular expression is basically we're going to validate some characters and string patterns. Okay, that if you are submit some form, that form requires some characters. Like this should be the form should be. For example, if you are creating an email, the email must need at character, right? So to do that, we are going to use the regular expression. Later we do that. Okay, now for not now. I'm just going to leave that. I'll just later I'll teach you with some good example. Okay. So regex 1 equal to, I'll put, this is the syntax how to create a regex. Basically, it's going to return by console.log re1 here. This is going to get a regex. Okay, don't worry about this. This is something kind of weird for now, but later on we get into it. Just I'm going to show you the syntax only. So regex always start with this for backslash only. Okay. So here, sorry, the forward slash regex expression. This one, instead of passing like that, I want to pass like this. Here I want to do like this way. This is something weird only, but don't worry, we will take care of this later. I'll put like this. This is also going to return the same way, but you see the both are not similar to each other, right? We'll get into that later because this is a biggest concept. Later on we get into that. Okay, so these are the function constructor. You see yesterday what I told, constructor and this keyword. So in our case, this function is a constructor. Okay, in this case the string is a function constructor. The same way they created using, instead of person, they have a inbuilt constructor method like string. The string contains a lot of methods and properties. Okay, so that's the reason. So we are have some, we saw that string, object string, a number string, boolean string, sorry, object, object string, object numbers, object booleans, and object functions, and object, the same way they both work in the same way. Here object array, then the object regular expression. Okay, these are all the literals. Okay, these are all the literals. If you are creating using without new keyword, these are all called as a literals. Okay, so the third step, prototype explain. Okay, before that you should want to understand what is prototype. So basically every object in JavaScript has a built-in property which is called its prototype. The prototype is an object, so the prototype will have its own prototype, making what they call a prototype chain. This chain ends when we reach a prototype as null for its own property. For example, here I'll just open this image. Okay, so this is basically okay, so we have one object, x is an object and x1 is an object. Okay, so but we are set properties to only one object. We can get this we can get the methods and property of this object to this object. Okay, that is called a prototype chain. So I will show you in a practical way, because this is a hard way to explain. I will show you in our examples. Okay, we'll create this. So for example, JavaScript object prototypes. All JavaScript object inherits means we can able to call that property from one object to another object. Okay, inherit properties and methods from prototype. In this previous, okay, we don't need this. Okay, so you see, to add a new property to cancel must need a condition. So okay, prototype inheritance. For example, all JavaScript objects inherits properties and methods from a prototype. So we know the date is an object in JavaScript. Okay, a lot of time I told you that date is an object, date is an object. So date object inherit from date dot prototype. For example, now I'm coming back here. I'll just create a new file here. Okay, this one called prototype explain.js. So I'll change the name of this path dot slash. This is not. This one is 3. So now here I'll just create a const date equal to new date. Okay. So if I come here and I will put console.log date here. Okay. If I put date, what I'm going to get, I want to make this one prototype. So I'm going to get data is not defined. So I'm going to get actual date, the string of date, right? The Tuesday, October 18, all these things we are actually having. So if I try to put, I will just show you one different thing here. Dot I'll put some dot prototype. I think it should not return. Yeah, it should not return. I will show in our example. Okay, leave this one. So instead of instead of date, I'm just going to create an array. Okay, array equal to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So console.log array. So if a console log array, you see this array returns, but we can click this one, index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is an option in prototype. Okay, remember in JavaScript, array is an object. So object contains prototype. What is this prototype? That's what we're going to learn today. Okay. So if you use array dot push, okay, the push is a method. We are using dot push and functional parenthesis here. Push. Here I'll put hello. Okay. We already have all the numbers. In the last, we are now push some string here. So if I console.log array, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get a string in the last index, right? Because we push something to the array. Okay, everything is fine. But now where the push method is coming, that's the question, right? So if I open this, there is a prototype. So if I open this one, I can able to see push here. Okay. So the methods all are sitting where? Inside the prototype. Okay, I will show you that later. So in now the example, okay, so here with the push, so the array methods are a lot. You see sort, sum, slice, shift, reverse, reduce, write, reduce, push, pop, map. There is a lot of methods here. We can use whatever we want here from here, right? So if I coming back here, okay, we don't need that. Okay, so if we're coming back to here, you see this function is sitting inside in the object only, not in the prototype, right? Now I'll come back here. I'll just close this one. So here I'm just going to create the same constructor. Okay, I'll just copy this, copy, and I'll paste it here. Okay, I'll create the same constructor, and here I'm just going to create a new person. So person name is Javed. So Javed is equal to, if you want to make, is equal to new person. So new person takes a two thing. One is name Javed, and another one is the date. Okay, 0509. We should want to give that in a string slash two. Sorry, 90. So I'll just give a 2004. Okay, for some date. Okay. If I save like this, what I'm going to get in the Javed, if I console log the Javed, okay, Javed. If I console log this Javed, I'm just going, Javed is not defined. So if I console log this Javed, I'll open this person. You see, here we have the birthday, here we have the name, and also here we have the calculate age, right? So if I open the prototype, there is no method here for our person object. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this calculate age into the prototype so that we can able to access to here. Okay, this is what I'm actually explaining now. For example, now this is okay, but if you try to create a new object here, okay, if you try to create a Jagan here, this name is Jagan. Each and every time when you create a new person object using that person constructor, what's going to happen, it's going to this calculate age is going to remain in the same place. Okay, this is not a good idea. For example, here only we have only one method. So this person contains like more than 10 or 20 methods. Mean, for example, you're creating more than 1,000 people, okay, in your application. So this is not a good way, because your machine is going to slow down. Each and every time this calculate age is actually making a copy of this inside the object. Okay, so this is not a good idea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out from this in the actual object, and I'm going to pass that inside to this prototype. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, instead of doing like this, I'll just take this out. Okay, I'll just command and I will take this out. Here, calculate age. So instead of keep that inside the function body, I'm going to make that person. First of all, you want to know what is actually the prototype. I'll show you that. Console.log person. You know what is person is, right? So this is a function constructor. What it's going to return, it's going to return actual function. Okay, so everything is cool. If I try to call that function, what it's going to happen, it's going to return undefined. Basically, this function is not returning anything. If this function is returned some string like this, so it's going to return what? Hello. Okay, so this function is not returning anything. That's what it's returning, undefined. Okay, we don't know, we don't want to return anything from here. So here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check dot proto. I think we are not get like this way, right? Function dot proto. Yeah, we cannot able to get that. We should want to make a object of that. Okay, I'll just give person. Why this is happening? So I will try this like this way. It will give you person dot prototype. We'll check what it's actually returning. Okay, so if I come back, it's returning a new object. You see, this is returning new object. If I open this, I can see a person constructor, because this is what the name we use to create our constructor, right? This is the constructor. Here we are initiating that. So this is a constructor function. Okay. If I open this, what I'm have, we are not going to use anything from here. Okay, just leave this now for now. The prototype, I am just going to pass that calculate age to this prototype. Okay, now we'll see. So if I do that, okay, now our prototype is what this is an object, right? This object contains prototype, and this is also object. This object is also contain prototype. For example, if I give dot prototype, what it's going to return? It's going to return undefined, because that is the last object. Okay, so there is no prototype after that. If I used to put here, like I'll just put the content here, person dot prototype dot calculate age. Okay, this one, I'll just copy this and paste here. Just take this, all these things out. I'll make this command. Okay, now I'll set the person dot prototype is an object. Remember that in that object, this is an object. Okay, I'll show you that. I'll show that console and I'll show you that. So here in this object, I am just setting up new method, right? So now this method is not inside this person constructor. It's going to sit inside the person prototype. Okay, remember that. Even though if it is in the person prototype, it's going to access this one. Okay, now now we'll check the console now. Console.log person dot prototype. If I check this, last time I show you that the function prototype cannot contains this calculate age, but this time if I come back here, you see this now have calculate age, right? Who is the constructor? The person. No. So now I can able to access the calculate age in every object. Now if I console.log the Javit here, the Jagan or Javit, I'm not going to have that calculate age inside to each object. Okay, this is the good way, because this is going to sit inside the prototype only. Now this object is not carrying unwanted function. Okay, we basically push into the prototype, and also it's going to be accessible. Okay, it can be accessible now. For example, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a Javit dot calculate age. If I call the function here, it's going to return 18. You see, it's returning the age. Even though if I have the same, actually it's working as the same. Here we have that function last time, it's returned the calculate age, but this time we move that person dot prototype to calculate age. So it is also working like the same way. Okay, so whenever we are creating any object into the, whenever we are creating any method into that object, we always going to set that inside to the prototype only. Okay, so this is a prototype actually. So I think today today is I think good to stop, because there is no people, right? So because if they attend tomorrow, it's very hard to. Okay, Tariq bro, you came. When you came? Hello. Hello, could you hear me?
Sir, he said he just now came. Sir.
Okay, still on the way to home. Okay,
Yes.
brother, no problem. We can take, then we can learn this tomorrow. Okay, no problem. It's not, we'll take this tomorrow, because this is an important concept. Okay, tomorrow I will explain you with some other, again I will explain you that tomorrow with some student. Okay, here we can stop this. So I'll just push this code in my GitHub. Tomorrow we'll take this, because this is very important concept. That's what, because the object now, yesterday also I told you that. Yeah, thank you brother. Yesterday also I told you that if you understand object properly, you almost 99% you will understand the JavaScript. That's the reason. Okay, so I'll just put the get in it. You just go and practice today the DOM session. Okay, we'll get into this object tomorrow in detail. Get get okay. So let's see. Do, up to so we'll connect tomorrow, brother. Okay, shall we close? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, okay, brother. Thank you. You just go and learn the previous section about the DOM. Okay, don't get into this prototype today. We'll get into tomorrow. Okay, no problem about that. I will explain
Okay, sir.
built-in and prototype tomorrow also. No problem about that. Okay, so take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, Tariq, bro. Take care.